Hey class, how are you? Today we are going to have another lesson in contemporary arts of the Philippines. But before that, we're going to have first our short prayer and then followed by the checking of the attendance. Okay, so before we move on to our activity, um, we're going to recap first our previous lesson. Okay, so anybody from the class, you can give me the recap of our previous lesson. What is it all about, our previous lesson class? Okay, anybody? So our previous lesson is all about the concepts and the ideas of sculpture. Okay, so sculpture is an artistic form in which hard or plastic materials are worked into three-dimensional art objects. Okay, an enormous variety of media may be used in sculpture. It could include the clay, a wax, a stone, a metal, a fabric, a glass, wood, plaster, rubber, and random found objects. Okay, materials may be carved, modeled, molded, cast, wrought, welded, sewn, assembled, or otherwise shaped and combined. So that is all about the sculpture. Okay, and now we move on to for our first activity class. Kindly prepare a piece of paper and the coloring materials, any pencils, or even ball pen. Okay, you are going to draw something that expresses your emotion or your feelings today. So what you're going to do is you have to draw how do you feel today? What is your emotion? You have to express it through a drawing. Okay, so I am going to give you 5 minutes on this activity. Okay, and we're up. So maybe you can see some of your drawings class online. Okay, some of you have happy emotions. Your drawings have happy emotions. Some of you have sad emotions. Some are excited. Okay, so those are drawings on expressing your emotions and feelings today. Okay, so hold on to that. Okay, so we move on to our next activity class. So as you can see, we have two flags in there. We have the USA or the United States flag, and we have also the Philippine flag. So what you are going to do with this? First is you have to observe and examine the Philippine and the United States flag. Use your observation to create all the similarities and the differences of the flag using the Venn diagram. Okay? So I assume that everybody knows how to do a Venn diagram. Okay? So the Venn diagram, the outside must be the differences of the flag that you have observed, and on the inside of the Venn diagram will be the similarities. Okay, with this I will give you um, 5 minutes to do the Venn diagram. Okay, so based on the Venn diagram that you are doing, what do colors and shapes and figures in each flag represent? Okay, so some of your observation, you have the same colors and you have the same shapes and you have also different colors and you have also different shapes, and also the figure in each flag represents have also um, similarities and differences. Okay, some of the figures and the shapes. So how do shapes, color, figure, and other elements of art influence how we see each flag? So how do you influence on seeing each flag, the shapes, the color, the figure, and other elements? Okay, as you can see, they both have vertical lines. We also both have horizontal lines, and then the colors as well. It will give light to the flag and also the figures. So it's how we influence on seeing an art or a drawing through figure shapes and colors. Very good. Okay, so we now come to our objectives. So what is our objectives of our main topic for today? So our main topic for today, class, is the elements of arts, and our objectives is to identify the elements of arts and also to explain how line, shape, color, texture, form, value, and space influence how we see visual art. Okay, so we have the elements of art. The ingredients for a great composition. So this elements of art, class, makes a very good artistic drawing or any picture. So what are the elements of art? So we have 7 elements of art. We have the line, the shape, the form, the space, the texture, the value, and of course the color. Okay, so we are going to discuss one by one on these elements of art. Okay, so we have the first element of art, which is the line. So what is this line? What is this line, which is the first element of art? A line is a path that points takes through space. Lines can be thick, thin, dotted, or solid. You can make straight movements, zigzags, waves, or curls. So this may be horizontal, vertical, and diagonal. Okay, so those are the example of the lines, which is one of the elements of the art and the first element of the art. Next is we have the example. Okay, so as you can see in there, you can observe that in the picture, on the drawing, there are lines that makes the picture more on reality. Okay, so you can see there diagonal lines, horizontal lines. So that really depicts that line is one also of the very important element of the art. Lines can convey emotion as well. This may show excitement, anger, calmness, tension, happiness, and many other feelings. Because of this, some are said to be expressive. Okay, so those are examples below that expresses a feeling of a lines. Okay, you can have their anger, happiness, tension, and some other feelings that you can express through lines. Okay, so then we have the next element of the art, which is the shape. Of course, it's also a very important element of the art, created when a line becomes connected and encloses a space. A two-dimensional 2D, it has a height and a width. There are two basic types of shape. We have the geometric shapes, have smooth or even edges and are measurable. Then we have also organic shapes, have more complicated edges and are usually found in nature. Okay, so what are those examples of these basic types of shape for geometric and organic? So for geometric shapes, we have, of course, the square, the circle, and of course the rectangle, which has actually a height and a width. Then in organic shapes, we have the shapes which is found in nature. We have there the leaves, the flowers, and the stems. Okay, so those are examples of organic shapes. Okay, then we have another element of the art which is also very important, and it is the form. A form is a shape that becomes three-dimensional, 3D form. It has a height, a width, and a depth. Depth shows the thickness of the object. Okay, so here are the examples. As you can see, this the try the form of the shape of a circle in a triangle has a depth already. Kung sa ato pang term, it is ang kabag-on. Makita na ang iyang kabag-on, ang iyang depth, the thickness of the object. It is not only the height and the width, but also the depth. Okay, then we have the next element of the art, which is the value. The value is the lightness or darkness of a color. When showing value in a work of art, you will need a light source. What is this light source, class? A light source is the place where the light is coming from. The darkest areas are always on the opposite side of the light. Okay? When you have a light source, class, ang opposite side niya is always the darkest area. And you really have to show it on the value, which is the darkest and the lightest area of a certain art or drawing or a picture. Okay, we have ways value can be added. We have the cross-hatching, and we have the stippling and the soft shading. What is this cross-hatching, by the way? Cross-hatching, class, is when you use irregular lengths of parallel lines that cross over each other diagonally. Number 2, stippling. Stippling is the use of the dots to create shade. Then we have the soft shading. The example of the soft shading is this one. Okay. Then we have the stippling. Dots of the shade dots to create shade, and of course the lines, the cross hatching, the lengths of the parallel lines. So those are the ways value can be added through a value. The thickness, okay, the lightness or the darkness of a certain picture, a drawing, or an art. Then we have the fifth element of the art, which is the space. Space is basically divided into three parts. We have the foreground, we have the middle ground, and of course the background. So in this picture, in this example, we have the water as the foreground, and the middle is the trees, and the background is the sky, okay, the bluish sky. So it is the space is divided into three parts. So in a certain drawing, there is what we call the space, which is divided into three parts. So in space, class, we have what we call a positive space and a negative space. What is this positive space? Positive space is the actual object within the artwork. Okay, so this is the example of the positive space, which is the actual object within the artwork. This is the real picture. But on the negative space, it is the area and in and around the objects. It is the background, and it contributes to the work of art. You can't have positive space without negative space. So this is the example. It is inverted, no? Inverted na siya. The background becomes the basis of the object. So this is what we call the positive space and the negative space. Then space is, in the space class, objects may overlap as well. When objects are overlapped, it is obvious that enough space have to be in the picture to contain all the objects that have been included. So sometimes in a space, there is an overlapping of the art in the picture. Okay, just like this, that tree overlaps the snow and the mountains. Okay, it overlaps within the picture. Well, it added also greatness of a picture, this overlapping, because it constitutes reality. We have the texture. What is this texture? Texture is the way the surface of an object actually feels. In the artistic world, we refer to types of texture. We have the tactile and the implied. Okay? Texture. Tactile or real texture. Tactile or real texture is the way the surface of an object actually feels. So you can see how the picture or an art actually feels. You can see the example below that uh, the picture of the dog actually feels very sad. Okay, then we have also the weather that depicts very nice weather. Then we have the implied texture. Implied texture is the way the surface of an object looks like it feels. So it looks like it feels, no? It doesn't, it has no certainty what it really feels. It just looks like. So we can see here that the dog looks like he is angry or sad. We cannot tell, but it just looks like it feels. Then we have the tree. It looks like it's dying or whatever, no? It is what we call the implied texture. The next element of the art is the color. It can add interest and reality to artwork. No, diba? When we see pictures, it is very captivating and real life if we add color on it. Okay, it can add interest and reality to artwork. These colors are the red, the yellow, the orange, the green, indigo, blue, and violet. So these are primary colors class that really gives glow or reality to a certain artwork or a certain drawing. Okay, to easily remember that you can have the ROYGBIV or the Roy G. Biv. Okay, so we have also the color wheel. We have the combination of the different colors. And when we're going to have a drawing and art, we can use the different variations of colors. Okay, let's try. Let's try to mix two primary colors together so that we can have what we call a secondary color. Okay, so how about if we combine the red and the yellow? What do you think will be the secondary color that we are going to have if we mix the two primary colors, red and yellow? Okay. Okay, so when we mix the red and the yellow primary colors, we can have an orange, a secondary color of an orange. How about the red and the blue? The primary colors red and the blue. What do you think is the result of mixing primary colors red and blue? What can we have? What can we have a secondary color? What do we have a secondary color, by the way? Okay, so when we combine red and blue, we create a secondary color of a purple. Okay, then we have a primary color and blue mixed together. We can have a secondary color of what? Okay, when we mix yellow and blue color, we can have a secondary color of green. Okay, so those primary colors class, if we combine, we can have another type of secondary colors which we can use in our arts, drawings, or pictures. Okay, so those are the primary colors. Then we have also what we call the color schemes. Okay, so what are these color schemes? We have the analogous color scheme, which is 3 to 4 colors next door neighbors to each other. Then we have also the complementary color scheme, which is the two colors that are directly opposite each other, going across the center. And then we have also the split complementary color scheme, which is the complementary color and the two colors on either side of its picture. Okay, so those are the color schemes. Then we have also the monochromatic color scheme, when you use only one color plus its tints and shades. You are using a tint is a color plus white and a shade is a color plus black. Okay, so on our activity class, on our application of our topic for today, we are going to have an online FB gallery walk. Okay, because we are celebrating the National Art Month with the theme Ani ng Sining. Celebration aims to showcase and document excellent artistic expression, promote unique identity and values of our local community. Using the materials provided, collaborate with your group with different ideas to come up with artwork showing the rich culture and arts we have in Ormoc City, particularly in Barangay Ipil, applying the concept and elements of the art. Okay? So what you are going to do, class, is you are going to have an idea on the with artwork showing the rich culture and arts in Ormoc City, particularly in Barangay Ipil. So you have to think unsa man ang mga culture nga naa sa Ipil. Unsa man ang mga artwork nga nagpakita og maayong mga culture and arts diri sa Ipil. Okay? So this is an individual activity. It is an online FB gallery walk because after this, by the way, these are the rubrics, class. The rubrics are cleanliness of output, 25%, application of elements, 25%, the concept, the local culture and arts, 50%. Okay, so after you've done with your drawing on artwork showing the culture and arts of Barangay Ipil, you are going to post it on our FB page so that everybody can see your output. Okay, so these are the rubrics. I will give you 15 minutes on this activity. Okay, so why is it important to understand and consider how the elements of art apply to your artworks? It is important that artists understand the effects of color and other elements in art when they are trying to get the viewers of their art to feel a particular way. That is why it is very important to understand these elements of artwork. Okay, kindly get 1/4 sheet of paper and answer the following question regarding our topic for today. Okay, I will give you 5 minutes on this quiz, short quiz. First is we have to identify what elements of art described in the following statement. Number 1, the lightness or darkness of a color. Number 2, an area of two-dimensional space defined by edges or lines. Then we have the quality of a surface, either actual or implied. Okay, then we have number 3, the quality of a surface, either actual or implied. Number 4, a path that the point takes through space. It conveys emotion and may show excitement, anger, calmness, tension, happiness, and many other feelings. Then we have number 5, a shape that has become a three-dimensional in nature. Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes on this, and after this, you have to post your answer with your name in our group chat so I can check directly your answers. On our assignment, practice the following plates. We have the plate number 1, shading. So you have to follow this drawing. Okay? So you have to pass this on our next lesson. So you have to create this shading, the dots and the lines, the texture and the value. Okay? So that is all for today, class. It is all about the elements of the art. Okay, thank you very much for listening and see you on our next lesson. Thank you very much.